Welcome to the Fintastic Four, or I don't know, is this a wake or is this a group therapy session?
It's got to be both.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
this is terrible. Before we get started, just some quick notes here. Some more happy news. Braxton Berrios is out for the season.
Tough
Poor
break
guy.
All
there.
right, we saw
ACL.
that. Yeah.
Sucked. Yeah.
Poor guy.
Um,
That's
one
his last
thing.
game with us.
Yeah. One good piece of news. Uh, Last year's number one pick, Cam Smith, off of IR. He's back with the team.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good.
That's
Good.
good.
That's
That's
nice.
good.
I mean, you had me with Cam Ward. You had me at Cam. I was like, wait, what?
Which, which
He
game?
was on IR. I don't
Wait,
know what you're talking about.
don't tease us with quarterbacks.
Um, we won't. The game was just horrible. Uh, Everybody's asking the same question though since that game. Who the hell is Tim Boyle? And why is Tim Boyle? And how do
The
we get
fourth
rid of Tim
string
Boyle?
quarterback. The fourth string quarterback.
Yeah. I want to spare you guys the pain. Do not go to his Wikipedia page. Do not read his career.
I have a theory.
It's terrible. Go ahead, Nick.
I have a theory that we brought this group of quarterbacks in
Mhm.
to inflate Tua. Now, I'm not saying Tua is not a good quarterback, and I'm not saying this, but
Mhm.
I think they wanted zero controversy in someone else coming in here and being 100% successful for 4 weeks or
Mhm.
even before the season happens,
All right.
having somebody behind him that could be successful enough to take the starting job away, and they
Right.
don't give it to that guy.
Yeah.
So they sign a collection of guys that, they can just hang out and Tua plays the whole year. It doesn't matter. But
Mhm.
look at where we are now.
I can see that. They don't want to have a quarterback who, if Tua plays bad, which he did the first 2 weeks of the season, the fans will start clamoring, "Hey, bring this guy up."
Yeah.
You look around the NFL and you see all these backup quarterbacks and who other teams signed, and I think are teams that other teams dumped on. They've been great. Like the Dolphins had a chance to sign Baker Mayfield. The Dolphins had uh, gotten who's the guy who's now the quarterback for the Panthers,
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton. I
I mean,
mean,
Joe Flacco was
Joe
available.
Flacco
Joe
was out
Flacco.
there.
And
People
Gardner
that can
Minshew.
handle an
Hey,
offense.
I mean,
Veterans, real veterans.
when I
You
thought
know what
about
they
it,
say is the most popular guy on every team is the backup quarterback until he has
exactly.
to come into the game.
But usually, you see most teams, especially if they have a young quarterback, you always have a backup who's a veteran who can go in there and not blow it.
Yeah.
Knows what's going on there.
can move
The
the ball.
the Dolphins haven't done that. They've
They
had
haven't had that in the Tua
No.
era. No.
they've
And
had
it,
these.
it became clear because they let go of Mike White, who I thought was probably the best backup we could have had, in a sense
Mhm,
that he could take the ball and move it down the field because
mhm,
he did it with the Jets. He had a few 300-yard games. We didn't get to see a whole lot of him. He came in mop up time a couple times last year. But then you're talking about you're going to rate him off of preseason play where he's playing with second, third string guys. He's not playing with the first team.
mhm.
So if you're saying he's no good off of that, it's just not accurate enough.
I am going to give. I'm going to cut some slack a little bit to the quarterbacks who've replaced Tua because with that offensive line, it would have been hard to do anything.
No, no, I get that. Yeah.
So um, the
But
bright spot though is the defense.
right.
Jeff, what have you been seeing out there? What's going on?
Well, the defense, I think, played good enough to win,
Yeah.
obviously.
Mhm.
But even, you know, the defense played well, but there were still a lot of missed tackles. There were some uh, should have been quarterback sacks
Yes.
that they had a hold of the guy in the backfield for a
Mhm.
loss, and then he runs for a first down. So
Mhm.
there's still a lot of missed tackles. I'm not saying that the defense did terrible, but there's room to improve for the defense also. But they did have a good game, and to their credit, they were out on the field for a long time. They were some
Mhm.
wore out guys at the end of that game.
Mhm.
I think at the end of the day, they did exactly what they were supposed to do, which is make a rookie quarterback look like a rookie quarterback, right? And that's what they did. They didn't get a lot of production out of that offense because of our defense. And when you hold somebody to what was it, 15, 16 points? What was it? What was
16.
16? When you hold somebody
16.
16 points,
You should
and
win that game.
have an offensive guru
You should win that game.
like our coach, you're supposed to win that game, right? And so by no means was this on the defense at all. This is all on the offense.
Jeff, the Colts quarterback Richardson, he pulled off a couple of runs up there that kind of worried me on the defense.
Yeah.
Next Sunday they got Murray from the Cardinals. That guy can run.
Spy him.
Yeah. Can the Dolphins handle him?
It's over pursuit. You know, you come in there, you get excited, you're going to sack the quarterback, and you come in there too hot, too out of control, when you should be just staying in your lane and just making sure that you get a hold of the guy and bring him down instead of getting all excited and over pursuing, which is what they were doing. You know, the game was not going bad. It was that first fumble by Mostert. That was the turning point of the game. It was at that point, because they were driving down. They had a good running game going. They were clipping off first downs easily with the running game, and it was a big run by Mostert. He ran for a first down, and then he was trying to get those extra yardage, and then that's when the ball came out, and that was the turning point of the game. After that, everything just kind of slid downhill for the Dolphins. They were still, and they were still playing well. I mean, the last few seconds of the game, they could have won it if they would have scored a touchdown. You know, it was that fourth down play. If they could have got that first down and got up there and scored a touchdown, we'd be in a different mood right now.
Yeah.
I love the end of the game, the fourth down play. Boyle put it right into the photographer's hands on the sideline.
Wrong guy. We didn't sign him yet.
What was that?
I know we need a receiver.
I mean, throw it. I mean, look, you got some of the two best wide receivers in the league.
0 targets in the first half.
Yeah.
We can't find them at all. At all, we can't.
Yeah, Jose, what is going on with that? What is?
I mean, what's the issue with the targets? I mean, look, obviously he's in love with Smith, and we know
that's good
that we have a tight end that can catch the ball, right? Yep. That seems to be like the only guy this guy can find. And maybe how do you say it? The secondary is double teaming our good wide receivers, but that's when coaching comes into play, right? You know, coaching, coach should have scored 24 points on Friday or on Sunday. And we didn't get, you know, it's like Nick said, I think, you know, at the end of the day, they had like one of them had 9 yards. One of them had like 8 yards.
Hill had 8, Waddle had 11.
One had, you know, that's 1 point.
That's 2 catches, 1 for each of them.
That's 1 point in fantasy football.
No.
For the best wide receiver, some of the best wide receivers in the league, they're not even football worthy. Chris, the beginning of the fantasy football season, I look at his team and he has Waddle and he has Tyreek, right? And I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna kill us all year long. Chris hasn't had a combined 10 points between those 2 wide receivers all season long, and that's a huge issue for the Miami Dolphins. And why is it that we can't target our wide receivers? I mean, even coach should, you know, it's like, look, we're gonna throw it to him. We have to throw it to Tyreek, or even, you know, I mean, we didn't even make. I mean, we complain a lot about the what's it called, the bubble screens and the screens. We didn't have many of those either, right? The only thing I could say is Achane was just 10 yards a clip. 10 yards a clip. Every time we handed it to Achane, it was 10 yards, right? With a shitty offensive line. we can still run 5 to 8 yards and 10 yards with Achane. And if we could just mix in the wide receivers a little bit, we would have a great scoring offense. I don't get it.
They need
I don't think it's the players. I think it's coaching.
they need to sprinkle in some shorter routes with them.
Yeah.
They're trying to get a lot of those deep chunk plays from them, which is great, but it's not there.
Yeah,
not
and
there.
they just back up. The safeties back up, and then they
Everyone's falling back.
Take away the long ball, and then that's it. Then that's when the tight end comes into play.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw out a theory out there.
Go ahead.
Normally, a guy like Tyreek or Waddle, they're going to get heavy coverage. They're going to get a lot of double coverage and everything. It's just on a normal team, if you run a pass play, you have your 2 wide receivers and a tight end. Mm-hmm. And usually a running back goes out there in a pattern also.
Yeah.
Okay. When was the last time the Dolphins threw to running back?
Yeah, man. Come on.
You know why?
To catch it.
Why is
they're keeping the running backs in
to block.
for blocking.
Yeah.
And if you only got 3 guys out there pass catching, everybody's an all pro cornerback then.
That's right. Everybody's all American out there. So
yeah.
Well, but the main problem there was the 2 deep safeties, okay, and then the quarterback would go back and he would look up and he would see the 2 safeties and a cornerback, so they were double covered. But he just needed to release the ball because Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle can both beat double coverage if the ball is placed in the right place. So it was the quarterback was hanging on to the ball too long. He would go up and he would look for that read and he would panic because he saw 2 double coverage. And instead of just letting the ball go, which was mostly what Tua does, is he throws to a spot on the field and there are guys there. So I would say that the majority of that problem of not getting the ball to the receivers was the quarterback hanging on to the ball too long instead of just trusting that his guys would go up and get the ball. You just have to release the ball, and if it's intercepted, then it's like a punt. You've got a deep pass, you throw it down the field, and our guy comes up with it or not. But if you hang on to the ball, then you take a sack. How does that help you? Right. Just release the ball, and if it's if Tyreek has to turn into a defensive back and knock the ball down, he's done it many times. He can do it. So you just have to trust him and release the ball and let it fly. That's what I kept saying. Just let it fly. Just let it fly. Let Tyreek go up and do what he does. If he has to knock it away, then he'll knock it away.
Yeah.
A lot of it has to do with the coaching also. Like I said, when was the last time a running back's got a pass? When was the last time you seen the Dolphins run a screen pass?
Well, that was for
we did a tight end.
The touchdown was a tight end screen pass. But the coaching, I will say the coaching is that Don Shula right now is turning over in his grave. Okay. When Don Shula was the head coach, the Miami Dolphins were the least penalized team in the NFL. And this is for every year that he was the head coach.
Right.
They were the least penalized team in the NFL. Now, this year, the Miami Dolphins are the most penalized team in the NFL. And it's these stupid pre-snap penalties. You're lining up on the line of scrimmage. You don't, you got illegal motion going on and all these things. Shula, that's coaching, and Shula is just spinning in his grave right now.
I'll give them 2 of those penalties. I think they took 2 of them intentionally in that game. But if this was a Flores-led team, we would be standing here saying, what's this guy doing coaching the team? Because wasn't that the conversation in year 3? Our offense isn't doing anything. Now we have an offensive head coach, and I feel like everyone, no matter what you read, it's trust the process, trust the system. This is the same amount of time, and now we're looking at 6 games, and we have 70 points scored. We scored 70 points in 1 game last year.
Yeah.
Now it takes 6 games. We're not going to win anything with that.
No, they're 2-4.
Well, I will say that the second half of that game, I don't think that they really had a penalty. I think they kind of cleaned it up in the second half as far as the penalties
Yeah,
and the
but
pre-snap
I
penalties.
think the referees took pity on him.
there's no hunger though. I feel like you look at the sideline and there was a clip where McDaniels is like joking around with the guys and they're losing. Where's the guy that comes in and lights a fire under them? Like,
Yeah,
we don't need
but
friends
it's
on
a
the sideline.
discipline.
Mhm.
It's a discipline. We've got a different player nowadays than we had when Shula was the coach. Shula could come in and give them the
Yeah,
death stare,
I don't,
yell at
I
them
don't,
Mhm.
I don't
and
take that
threaten
though,
them.
because look at some of these teams, the way they come out, and when they come out on defense and they hit hard, they come in and they hit the hole, they smack the guy. Last night I was watching the game, and these guys are hitting the players.
Mhm.
We look like we practice and we do all this stuff, and we're very soft and gentle and delicate. Where is the
Still
toughness
get hurt.
in this team? And
Mhm.
yeah, we still get hurt, but where
Yeah.
is the toughness in the offense and the
Mhm.
defense is playing great. I'm not going to take anything away from them, but where's that fire?
And
And you know what? For all that we say, we always say next man up. It's not next man up at Miami, right? Like in San Francisco, it's next man up, right? They lose their quarterback, they bring another quarterback, and he's a better quarterback than the other quarterback, right?
Yeah,
It's not next man up here in Miami, right? The next man that comes in is guaranteed loss, right? And that's what we've had what, 2 wins this year, one from a backup, one from Tua, right?
Yeah.
And I think he may have tied all the other wins from all the other backups in the Tua era. I think we've only had one win from a backup quarterback prior to that win that we had this year. And that was to get into the playoffs when we beat the Jets last game of the year, right? And we got into the playoffs and we played Buffalo in Buffalo, right? And we almost won that game with our backup, right? So I mean,
I
it's
don't think they take it serious.
Yeah, nobody's. Yeah, it's a bad thing that's happening to the.
It's so frustrating because, like Nick, the special teams used to be able to count on at least the special teams for Dolphins.
And,
I mean,
I'm torn. Like, he hit one field goal, he missed the 54-yarder, which a lot of people are making these 50-yarders like they're nothing now.
yeah.
But we shouldn't have even been in a situation to have to kick that 54-yarder. We should have been in the lead already at that point.
Yeah.
But it's like the only reliable guy on the team is the punter. He's back on top of the world. 3
He's
inside the 20
MVP.
again. Yeah, almost 300 yards punting. That's the only way we'll get
Jake
a
Bailey.
300-yard
I
game.
finally remembered his name. Jake Bailey, our punter.
How can you forget? I mean, how are his jerseys not flying off the shelf at this
No
point?
kidding.
I don't know how I get him on my fantasy team or get points.
I've been trying to get punters in there for the longest.
Listen, man, I'm Dolphin fans from all the way back in the 70s. I only remember 2 punters, Larry Seipel and Reggie Roby.
Reggie Roby, yeah.
And Roby I only remember because he wore a damn wristwatch while he was kicking the ball on the field.
And
Right?
his long ass leg above his head, right? Just.
Well, he was a heck of a punter, man.
Yeah. And I remember Larry Seipel because he also played tight end also.
Yeah.
He went out there. Back then, punters had to actually play football. I don't know. I mean, this is
a famous championship game, AFC championship game, where he did the fake punt.
Right.
And all the Pittsburgh Steelers had their back to him running to cover the punt, and he just pulled it down and ran for a first down. And when you got a tight end for a punter, you can do that. He can pull the ball down and run it.
It's we're sitting here, we're bitching and moaning about how bad the team is, what's going on. Is this team salvageable? Is this season salvageable? They're 2-4 already.
Oh, yeah. Tua is coming back this week, and I think we will see Hill and Waddle be a major part of the game plan once again, because Tua will step back there and just let it fly. He'll let it fly. He may get a couple of interceptions, but I think we're going to get some points out of that deal. I think Tyreek is good enough that he can go up and knock the ball down if he can't get it.
Is it not for certain that Tua is coming back this Sunday? Is it?
Oh, it's certain.
He's expected to play. Yeah,
He's expected.
Oh, he's going to play. who's going to play? I mean, Huntley is out. Huntley's got the shoulder injury. He's out.
The three of
Skylar
us will be
Thompson is
there.
playing
So
last down for the Dolphins. All we have is this Boyle guy. He's a fourth string quarterback.
I'll
Tua's
be the
going to play.
emergency third. I'm the emergency third.
Yeah.
I'm left-handed, so it'll work.
Great. Tua comes back, but I'm going to remind you guys, the first 2 games of the season, it
wasn't pretty.
It wasn't pretty with Tua there, and with that offensive line, I will be surprised.
Well, the offensive line is doing great run blocking. Yeah. They are superior run blockers at this point. So, and that seems to be a case with teams and offensive lines. Either they're great run blockers or they're great pass blockers, but seldom do they do both.
Both, yeah.
So right now we're going to have to ride this wave of the run blocking and let Tua do the play action, deep ball, because they're going to have to start pulling those 2 safeties up to stop that running game.
The thing is, when if Tua's back in there, when he goes back, the defense knows he ain't gonna run. Okay. Right. And they're just gonna go, let's get him. Okay. And when a player's fragile, it's like blood in the water. You're gonna do it,
Well, yeah, that's what I want him to do. I want him to over pursue on that outside, trying to get to Tua, and then that just opens up the running lanes. When they're coming after the quarterback like that, and you just hand the ball off, there's just big room to run.
If I'm McDaniels, I will go. I will kill your firstborn if you run with the ball. Just take a knee, slide, take the sack. I don't care. Throw the ball in the stands. Away. We got plenty of balls. Please. Okay, NFL balls are cheap.
Okay. So before we go down the scores for this week, this week we have a unique situation, and it happens every once in a while. But this week, and we got to remember to put the broom on the on the list that brings the thing to the tailgate, because this week we have Miami versus the Seminoles in Miami. Okay, so the field is going to be tore up, right? For that game. So is that going to be an ideal field? Yeah, it's not going to be an ideal field for Miami, right? And hopefully we beat down the Seminoles on Saturday for that game. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be ideal for Miami or the tailgate. We're going to have to bring the broom out and a little bit cleaning.
I hate that. I hate it.
Yeah. Don't forget the manhole.
I won't forget the manhole.
Yes.
Well, that's what's going on. You've been forgetting the manhole.
The only time I forgot the manhole was once.
Guys, I don't want to. With all due respect, I know your guys' tailgates are awesome, but the scenery is a lot better at the University of Miami tailgates.
I'm sure it is.
No, it's not.
I'm sure it is.
It is.
We've done the tailgate before, and it's out of control.
Let me tell you, I was gonna buy Jeff. I was gonna buy us tickets, and we were gonna go to that game, but those tickets were like $400 or $500 a pop, right?
Dude, it's sold out
like a month ago. Right? I was like, I'm gonna surprise Jeff. We're going to this game, right? And we'll just have back-to-back, tailgates. But I was
my liver can't take that at that.
Yeah, but your liver, you don't drink that much.
Well, there are a lot of players on the Hurricanes. I would like to see the Dolphins draft, but nobody on the Hurricanes defense.
Yeah,
that's
defense is oh my goodness. But they're gonna have a loss here pretty soon. It's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen when they have a really good offense. And just enough defense, but they're gonna eventually someone's gonna outscore us unless that defense figures it out. We need to get some folks out at the transfer portal for that.
All right, guys, here we go. Sunday, the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, all those guys in their funny red uniforms. Jeff, pick it. By the way, I'm not going to bring up last week because we were all wrong. Jeff,
17-10 Dolphins.
17, even with Tua back, you only 17 points.
Yeah, because he's not gonna, he's gonna have some rust. He's gonna have to shake off the rust, and I think we're gonna be relying on that running game to try to open up the passing game. I think the Cardinals are going to come in to try to stop the run. They might not have the two deep safeties, and if they do, good. Then we'll run all over them just like we did. That was the success of our running game this past week. Was the two deep safeties. They didn't pull the safeties up to stop the running game, and Achane was kicking out 10 yards a pop.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Nick?
Who's next?
Nick?
I'm going to pick the Dolphins.
Okay.
It's telling me not to pick the Dolphins. Like everything in my mind is saying, don't pick the Dolphins. They can't figure it out. But we're going to go with the Dolphins, and they're going to win 20-17. It's going to be a close one. I don't think we have it all figured out yet on offense, and I'm not trusting the process. We did throw our first touchdown since week 2, though, so.
Ooh.
There you go.
Jose?
You know what? We've been a bunch of homers here for the last,
do it.
I don't know how many weeks.
Do it.
So, in order for us to break this losing streak, I am going to pick the Cardinals to win 24-17. In our house, in our face, right? And Tua's going to throw 3 interceptions, and they're going to pull him and put Boyle back in, right? So that's what's going to happen, and the defense ain't going to show up, and the coach is going to get fired on the spot and all that bullshit, right? So that's what's going to happen, and I hope I'm wrong.
Well, I'm going with Jose. I'm going 27-24 Cardinals. Dolphins are finally going to score some points, but it's not going to be enough. And one good thing about that is tickets to Dolphin games will get a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
No.
A lot more room to tailgate out there this week.
A lot more room to tailgate.
There's going to be a lot of room to tailgate this week.
You can move your seat into the part with the shade.
Yeah, exactly.
Can the tickets for next year be cheaper?
Yeah.
Not only that, there's going to be plenty of available ones. People are just going to let those go.
They'll be going now, but you got my phone. I go, hey, I'll see you guys there. And I'll buy my ticket 2 minutes before kickoff. Oh, $10. Cool.
And that really, really, really fat waiting list.
Yeah, it's gone.
Is going to disappear.
It's gone.
It's gone, right? That thing is gone.
No
Some
more
seats for
waiting.
$15. I'm there.
We need to get Tony to the tailgate.
Come on down.
It's getting cheaper. I might just
He
do
wants to wait until December when it's a lot cooler out.
when it's cooler and I want my seat in the shade. I want to get those $15 club seats.
So
and I'll be there.
Tony, if we get you seats, you'll come?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go. Let me look at the schedule in December and I'll let you know which game. All right.
All right.
All right, guys. Out there, you listen to 4 old guys spewing about the Dolphins. Like us, share us, give us some comments as I kick around my microphone. And we'll see you next week. Jose, Nick, Jeff, and me next week on the Fintastic 4.
2 and no picks. Talking to you, man.